Oh, shit.
Hey, come on, sit down. You're sitting at the grown-ups table. I'm your host, Jesse Pimpinella, and as always, my partner in crime,
John Jacobs.
Thank you so much, and happy Wednesday to everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited for today's show. Today, we're going to be talking about The Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. By Mr. James Gunn, one of the most creative directors in Hollywood right now, in my grand opinion. Before we get into everything, make sure you like and subscribe and share this video link because the more you do it, the more we show up on people's news feed and the happier everybody gets. And that's what life is all about, spreading joy. All right, so make sure you do that. Spreading. I don't know why that was so creepy, but spreading.
Oh, I tried to be creepy on purpose, man. I'm also wearing a really tight shirt today.
The villain of this movie kind of wanted to spread the love, just more. The love was him. Spreading a lot of him everywhere. You know,
I mean, we'll get to that. This is true. I like where this is going.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's bring out our guests right now. Let's bring out this guy. You want to bring on the guest? Usually that's your job. I'm hijacking it. Sorry.
Wow, you've totally fucked up our flow, Jesse. Thanks.
I fuck up all flows, man.
Hold on, let me reset. Okay, we're good. Hey, so our first guest is a show favorite. He's probably been on the show the most out of any of our special guests. The guy knows way more than I do about comics and everything, related. So without further ado, give it up for Darth. Yes, real legal name is Darth.
All right.
There he is.
Darth, what's up, man? How you doing?
Still on my white void.
Yeah, it looks like you didn't escape from last show.
I'm also watching me.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Hey, thanks for sharing the live feed. By the way, if you're watching, share the live feed. Spread the wealth.
Spread the wealth, indeed.
All right, Jesse. So next guest up is actually a first-timer for the show. It's a guy I've known for more than 20 years. He loves comics. He loves superheroes, loves pop culture. Let's bring in our guy, Andy Heath. Woo!
Yeah!
There he is. So real quick, between Andy and I, we've known each other for a super long time. We're talking about all the way back to the 90s at Toys R Us. Andy used to work at one of the many secondhand video game and music shops we have here in Columbus for a number of years, which was a great time, always going to visit that shop. Everybody was friends with everybody. 16-player Halo night at Andy's apartment. Just great memories. So Andy and I have been friends for a long time. We've done podcasting together in the past, so it was about time that we got him on this show. He loves Suicide Squad, so this was the perfect show to bring him in. Thanks for being here, Andy.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. All right, Jesse. So what the hell are we talking about today? Tell us.
Very good question. So, again, we're going to be talking about Suicide Squad, but not just Suicide Squad. We're going to get into some details. We're going to just quick overview. We're going to talk about the biggest thing, the Ayer versus Gunn. We're going to talk about the two different movies as well as the newfound energy of release the Ayer cut. We're going to talk about some what ifs, what the Suicide Squad movie could have been. There was a lot of other ideas that James Gunn had they didn't do. And we're also talking about the C-list characters and the D-list characters that we fell in love with in this movie, which I believe no better person could make you fall in love with these characters than James Gunn. Harley Quinn's growth, as well as some of the predictions and letdowns or let-ups that we might have had while watching the movie. Now, before we get going, let's just jump over to the comment section, show some love over there. What's up, Nigel? How you doing, man? And right there, Darth is watching himself. That's awesome. Darth, go crazy.
Wow, Darth, you're defying physics here, my friend. What's happening?
Yes. So I also want to pose a question in the chat.
Oh.
Who's doing the white void better, me or Jesse?
Look at that. Like I broke it, though, because I got the opening there.
I mean, Andy kind of has it going on. Everything is like the same shade of color, so it's very similar.
Door?
I mean, it's no surprise. I'm in my office, so I mean, I can't fake it. I mean, this is my home office. So
I love how John worked really hard to have a studio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like us. I'm just like, okay, this back alley looks great. I'm going to do the show from here.
Well, if I ever buy a bigger house that has a little bit more room, I am going to actually build a little set that I have like a cool backdrop behind, like all those YouTubers have and everything that we can do all of our shots from. I have a blue screen. I just don't feel like setting it up and going into all that. Maybe I will one day and get fancy for the show, but I'd like to build myself a little set behind me. I think it'd look cool.
But you look great. I want you to know.
Oh, well, thanks. I appreciate it. And since we're talking about DC characters, of course, I got to represent my man Superman on here, who was not in any of these movies, but don't give a shit.
He was mentioned.
He was. When they were talking about Bloodsport, shot his ass. So, yeah. Mentioned, but not seen on film.
It was also going to be. They were also mentioning that he was going to be it, but let's save that for later conversations. Let's talk about the success of this movie.
Jumping right in.
Number one, what we're going to talk about is the difference between this movie versus the previous movie. Now, real quickly, what we're talking about when I say the original Suicide Squad movie, I'm going to call that the Warner Brothers cut.
Okay.
That was the Warner Brothers cut. We didn't get Ayer's cut. Because if you watch the trailer, there were a lot of cuts that in the trailer that we didn't get to see, like Joker's charred off face, Harley's moment of saying, screw you to the Joker, I'm not working with you, and then beats the shit out of him. There was a lot of moments they took away from it, and they played it safe. So, and even Joel Kinnaman, I believe his name is, the guy who played Rick Flag, he said the reason why this movie is more successful than the previous movie is because this movie is the movie they were intending to make.
So, I mean, I would agree with that. And, I'm pretty vocal when I express my criticism of both the first Suicide Squad, the Error Suicide Squad, and Birds of Prey, which I'm going to give you your moment.
Stay in the track. Stay in track.
Yeah. So, anyways, I agree, but the ending was just so bad that I don't even know if I care about getting an Error release at this point. Like doing
that ending wasn't his.
Oh, I want this or that. I know, but what I'm saying is not only was the ending bad, and I didn't give a shit about Enchantress or whatever the fuck her brother's name was, and then he just like died falling in water. So I mean, it's like, okay, I would have even been cool if Diablo flipped. Magnum PI flipped again and then started attacking everybody in this like hellspawn form. That would have just inherently been cooler than the ending that we got.
I think what was very interesting is the Enchantress being such an oddball character, and in a sense, Starro is an oddball character in the comic books. I mean, yes, he's the villain of the Justice League, but really, could you have ever imagined them putting Starro in the movie? Can anybody a year ago go, we're going to see the live action Starro? I'll tell you, I had it. But James Gunn is the guy to do it. He could take really obscure characters and make them work. Hell, remember, Guardians of the Galaxy, everybody thought that was going to be Marvel's first lemon. And far from it. So far from it. Now, Darth, yes.
No, I'm saying that guy thought it was going to be a horrible movie.
Yep.
What? Oh, the new one?
No, I'm talking Guardians.
Oh, you're right. You're right. I was. I was. I was. And then Darth, just like with Ant-Man, I immediately called you and was like, I was wrong. I loved it. Did I not?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
All right. Getting back on the topic here, though, you guys do know that the Enchantress was not the original villain.
Yes.
Of the original movie. It was supposed to be Joker.
Yes.
But hold on.
Warner
Looks like Andy
Brothers
wants to say something.
No, I didn't.
Oh, it looked like you were getting ready to. I thought you had something.
I honestly didn't know that Enchantress wasn't supposed to be the first villain. I didn't know it was supposed to be Joker. That would have been a better movie.
I agree.
There were a lot.
Even though I hate that Joker.
Same.
I love
my Joker doesn't need a gangster grill. I'm sorry.
Or all the gold bling on his arm and his like open silk shirts, driving driving Maseratis and whatever the fuck it was he was driving. I mean, it's glam rock Joker, man. It's and look,
I recently got real fast about the.
Hold on, real quick. All I gotta say is that watching all three of these movies within like a week-long period, I noticed something with the makeup. it's totally not there's no continuity to the makeup for two characters that dove into the chemicals to be bleached. Joker twice, apparently, because I forgot that scene in the first Suicide Squad movie where he just jumped in after. So I guess he's extra bleached because he got a different dose later on or whatever. But when you watch scenes, it's like sometimes they're not even wearing the makeup when they should. Other times the makeup is all blotchy and misapplied. And it really bothered me through all three of these movies because there's like no continuity to that. And I don't know, that just really, really, especially in the first Suicide Squad movie, it bothered me. And it also bothered me about Joker that it looked like his hair was painted. It didn't look like his hair was stained from the chemicals. It straight up looks like it was painted. And just that's one of many things that I absolutely hated about Jared Leto's Joker on top of the laugh. But Darth loved it, so I don't want to shit on it too much.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I'll say about two things real quick is with Jared with the three movies, Harley definitely changed, tattoos changed and stuff like that. Those were actually choices they made because they were trying to do soft retconning of the movies because like this Suicide Squad movie isn't so it's kind of like how Batman Forever is a sequel to the Tim Burton Batman movies, but it really isn't, but exists in this world where it could be. You know, it leaves it open. Even though
they did say that this is not a sequel, it's not really a reboot because they're using some of the same characters.
Right.
They were trying to like it's kind of like how comic books. It's kind of like how comic books like there is no direct sequel to The Killing Joke, but there are comics that make light references to it. But the events of that Killing Joke could have been completely different.
So I would put it more towards, so the first movie, The Killing Joke, and then you equate that to The Long Halloween. Same characters.
Yes.
But totally different.
Yes.
Not genre, but totally different time frame, totally different storyline. Yes, they both have the Batman. They both have all these characters, but that's how they're related. That's how I kind of feel about this movie.
I couldn't agree more with you with that. Real quick, just
hold on.
Oh.
So I think that this, to me, is more like Evil Dead 1 and 2, where they're not sequels to each other. They're not reboots to each other. It's just, hey, we did this one, and then we kind of did that one again, but it did a little bit different, and then we went on this spin-off after it. Yeah. So I kind of feel like that's kind of how the Suicides was, especially having a lot of the main cast. Now, spoilers, they all get wiped out in the beginning, which was hilarious. Except for my man, Captain Boomerang. I'm a Jai Courtney fan, and, I think the guy's going to be huge 20 years from now when he gets to middle age acting. I'm calling it right now, so everybody, I can be like, I told you so if I'm still alive in 20 years. The guy's going to get his break, I promise you. But I really liked his Captain Boomerang, and it bothered me that he got wiped out in the beginning. But nonetheless, I think it's more like an Evil Dead 1 and 2 situation where it's not a reboot, it's not a remake, it's not a reimagining. It's just, hey, we're going to make it again, but, just maybe change these couple of things, but it's still kind of the same thing. I don't know. It's like, it doesn't have like a definition. I don't know. It's weird. It floats like in the middle.
Yeah. I think what was so brilliant about killing off his character, though, and they took a page out of the movie Scream. At the time, Drew Barrymore was the biggest actress of all time. And if she's getting killed off within the first 2 minutes of the movie, then that means nobody's safe. So
sure.
For me, I was like, all right, he's going to be in the movie for a while. And when he goes, I was like, what? I was in disbelief when he was stabbed. I was like, that's not Boomerang.
Yeah.
That's not Boomerang. And then the explosion happens.
Yeah, and you're like, oh, shit, Boomerang's dead.
So I think it's so brilliant that they did that.
I mean, sure. And, the whole Michael Rooker was great. And I really think him dying was the one that told me, okay, anybody can die in this movie. And then the whole banter with the weasel where he, had to be the one to go get the weasel. So he gets the weasel, and then he just gets on the radio, and you hear it from, everybody. He's like, the weasel is dead. He's dead. And that's it. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful. The fucking weasel died.
A drowning. That's the worst. But what I liked about that is James Gunn has the funniest sense of humor to kill Michael Rooker off in everything he does. Guardians was the longest he went. I kind of thought Rooker was going to die in the first Guardians because I was like, James Gunn, if you watch his past movies, Rooker's in a lot of them. And he always bites the dust every single time. Like, I think Guardians 1 was the first time Rooker survived a James Gunn movie, which is hysterical. It had to be a running joke. But let's show up to the comments.
Did we all wait to the end? Did we watch the end credit scene? The Weasel is still alive. And I'm telling you, in the next film, he's going to be the lead. I'm telling you right now, it's all going to be about the Weasel.
He's harmless. I mean, killed 27 kids.
Killed 20 kids, but you know.
Totally harmless.
He's like a mutated Freddy Krueger, you know? Like, he just kills the kids, and his punishment is now you're a mutant weasel. But apparently you can't be killed, so he's going to kill more kids, man. It's going to happen. Some kid's going to think he's a pet, and boom, family's getting wiped out. There's the movie right there.
Have you guys seen the meme where they took the Cat in the Hat, the Mike Myers movie, and put Weasel in?
Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Oh my God. So before we transition out of this, I want to hear from Andy and Darth, because Jesse and I have kind of been dominating this conversation on what you guys felt about the difference between the two. So you guys take it away.
All right. I liked the second one a hell of a lot better. I was not a huge fan of the first one. I mean, I liked it better than the other DC movies that were coming out. Okay. I thought it was the best one that they had done since that, of the DC universe. But at the same time, Jared Leto's Joker, I mean, was a joke. I'm sorry. I can't take gangster Joker.
I agree.
It's just too much. I heard the only reason that we didn't get Will Smith in this new one was because of scheduling conflicts. So, I mean, they might bring him back if they do a Suicide 3, which would be cool.
They will. That's why they had Bloodsport.
Yeah. So if they could get Bloodsport and Deadshot to team up, I mean, shit, that would be a badass.
That would be an awesome show.
And with Peacemaker, I mean, all three of them.
Well, true. Yeah, he's still alive. Spoilers, guys. Spoilers. If people don't know this is a spoiler show by now, it's their fault. No, I don't. I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah, spoilers. So, yeah, I totally agree. Now, Peacemaker's getting his own spin-off show on HBO Max, right?
Correct.
God, HBO Max is literally the new Disney Plus, man. They just boom, boom, hitting it, just raking in that money, man.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's. Sorry.
Darth, Andy didn't like your Joker. I didn't like your Joker. Jesse, did you like Leto, however the hell you say it? Did you like his Joker?
He was a bit tolerable in the Justice League Snyder cut, but I still. Here's the thing. Appearance-wise, minus the grill, it's not that far from the Alexander Ross style drawing, whether you like that or hate it. But they actually did explain the slick back hair and all that stuff. And it's a mix of Alexander Ross and Scott Snyder, which I implore everybody, look up those two images and you'll see what I'm talking about. But the reason why he has the grill is an interesting behind-the-scene thing that they didn't show in the movies, which is kind of a bummer, but I think they executed it poorly. So basically, Batman knocks his teeth out when he kills Robin, and that's why he has the smile right here, as just so he's able to smile.
That would actually make sense, and I could get behind that.
Sure.
They filmed that scene, and it was supposed to be in Suicide Squad.
Oh, really?
I just don't understand why his Joker laugh is like that, like it's a dying seal. Like, I mean, you got the voice okay, but he apparently worked on this laugh for months, and I'm like, where is it? Because that's not a Joker laugh. Like, what the fuck, man? That really bothered me.
You ever have a project due in 3 months and you wait till the last night?
Right. Man, I got to get this voice down. We start shooting tomorrow. Shit.
So getting to the point where everyone's bad-mouthing to Leto.
Yeah.
Don't say that.
No, here he goes. He's been waiting. Here he goes.
All right.
So the thing that gets me is he took a totally different direction than the other, we'll say, 3 big Jokers that are out there.
Okay.
So you had Cesar Romero, the Clown Prince. You had the gangster of Jack Nicholson. Then you had the anarchist in Heath Ledger.
Sure.
So he took kind of what a wannabe gangster would be right now and emulated that. Take a look at rap. Take a look at all the mumble rappers out there. They're all linked up. Music. They're all, wearing the bright, hideous colors, and they're all got the grill, got everything. But again, going off of what Jesse was saying, it's not really a grill. He had all of his teeth replaced because Batman punched all of his teeth out when he killed Robin.
Sure, which she deserved.
Oh yeah, obviously.
I mean, did he? I mean, Jason Todd's a little bit of a prick.
I mean, look, he came back, man, and all that happened. So it's all good. He's still alive. That's all that matters.
A little bit of a spoiler here. If anyone's watching the Titans TV series on HBO Max,
I heard that's getting really good now.
It's been really good since season 1.
It's on
real spoilery.
Careful, because I'm gonna watch it. So be careful here, Dart.
I'm gonna ruin it for you.
Oh, what season?
Earmuffs, John. Earmuffs.
All right.
When they, Batman kills the Joker after killing Jason Todd. So yeah, this is a really cool dark Batman. So that's it. John, you can come back, John. John, come back. Headphones.
Hey guys.
And that's why
good idea, Darth.
Dick Grayson is the worst Robin ever. Oh, I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry.
I mean, if you're talking Robin, yes, because Tim Drake is my favorite Robin, so I do have to agree with you.
All right, yeah, because he's always meant to become Nightwing. I'm gonna. Yeah. That's the way I heard it.
Which is I'm totally fine with that. So
that's the way I heard it. I'm a part of the Dick Grayson camp, so
I mean I am too. But what if we had like a montage or a flashback scene or like a during the opening credits scene or something of just some really cool 300 style imagery where Joker's killing Jason Todd and then Batman's punching his teeth out. I just feel like there was some missed opportunity there.
There were a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
And I blame Warner for doing that because
for hacking that shit up, man. They hacked that movie to pieces.
Yeah. There should have been a much, much more Joker story in that. And they just decided they didn't want to make it a Joker movie. They decided to make another Joker movie with a different actor and a different universe.
But it was really cool that Batman was in it and Joker was in it. It was it really felt like they were trying to tie things together, and I loved that concept. But my God, between glam rock Joker and that fucking horrible ending with sky beams and 6,000-year-old gods that do nothing. I'm just what happened to this movie? Because the second time I watched it, I actually liked it a lot more, minus the ending. And I think that's because I liked the second film a whole lot more, and it allowed me to like certain aspects of the first film more than I did the first time. So,
also, one of my favorite characters, King Shark, was supposed to be in the first movie. He was supposed to be, they were supposed to do him instead of Killer Croc.
But why did they switch? Do you know?
One, the cost of CGI on it.
Okay.
And two, he was a reoccurring main villain in the Flash TV show.
That's why they didn't want him to show up in an R-rated thing. The character itself.
Well, funny enough, because of the Suicide Squad movie, they had to get rid of the annual Suicide Squad episode in Arrow, which bummed me out entirely.
Mm-hmm.
That bummed me out.
And they renamed it real quick to Task Force X, which is technically their name. But
what's your two favorite rappers? Go. Let's see. Eminem and and B Rabbit. It's the same people. But yeah. No, but anyways, let's transition to our next topic because I can't believe it. I knew we were going to spend a half hour on Ayer versus Gunn.
Yeah, we did. We totally did.
That's why I didn't have that many topics for this show. I was like, I know this show inside out. I know it's going to be forever on these ones. But let's talk about. Let's go. I want to jump ahead to this one because I think we're going to get a lot of mileage on this one.
Yeah,
D-list characters. Now, real quick, James Gunn is a master storyteller and great at making us give a shit about certain characters. I mean, my God, I kind of felt bad for Starro a little bit at the end. Because he was just a little guy floating in space.
Oh, yeah. He was the tragedy of the whole movie.
And then he's tortured for 30 years?
Yeah. Like he said, he's like, I was
the conqueror of worlds.
Dude, he was perfectly happy, floating through space, looking at the stars, not being bothered, and then boom, this.
Sorry. Innocent before proving guilty, okay? I didn't see any other planets being conquered. All I saw was a little guy floating in space and getting harassed by a bunch of Americans. That's all I saw.
Oh, no, I told you what the Americans did was horrible. But he is the conqueror of worlds.
I didn't see any worlds conquered.
Because he was locked up by the stupid Americans.
Exactly. He had an alibi.
So I do have a question real quick because I noticed.
I think I broke Darth.
No, so in this film takes place in the Corto Maltese, and I remember that in Tim Burton's Batman, Vicky Vale had that like portfolio, and she went to Corto Maltese when they had some type of revolution or whatever, and she was taking pictures, and it was like, oh, she's a good journalist because she goes and gets the risky pictures. But I was kind of thinking, is Corto Maltese kind of like the same as like Sokovia is in the Marvel world? Like they each have some particular areas that shit just tends to happen in their universe, and it seemed like the Corto Maltese was like kind of that area for DC.
Yep. Yeah. It wasn't at one point the League of Assassins or the League of Shadows. Weren't they headquartered there at one point? I can't remember. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure they were.
Darth, we didn't hear you if you answered.
I have no clue.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'm gonna look it up.
Do you know?
I have no idea either.
I mean, it sounds right, but we all are connected to the internet, so.
But anyway. Let's talk more about your guys' favorite characters. Andy, what was some of your favorite characters in this movie that you came to love? You didn't think you were going to care about them, but then you were like, this is my spirit animal kind of deal,
All right. Well, I love Javelin because I love Flula Borg. I think he's a hilarious comedian. I've loved him in everything that I've seen him in. Just seeing him in that scene and then he's dead. I was like,
his suit was cool. I loved his suit.
His suit was cool. I really liked him. I liked that they brought in Nathan Fillion as the TDK.
Yeah, was great. Who are you again? What's TDK mean?
It's just letters. All names are just letters.
Yeah. That was, I think what was so great about that, like, again, this is James Gunn's strength. I mean, the TDK thing, I love the one scene where it's like very serious, and all of a sudden you see him just slap fighting the soldiers.
Yes.
Hey, Jesse, put Daniel's comment up real quick, because this is going to go into exactly what we're talking about.
All right. Oh, no.
There it is. So, I mean, can we all agree to this? Because I think we all fell in love with Polka Dot Man. And it was so sad when he died.
He died because he finally fulfilled his mother's goal to make him a superhero.
So, Darth, am I understanding this correctly? So, his mom worked at Star Labs, but then became a supervillain because she wanted to turn her kids into superheroes, but ended up turning him into supervillains.
She became a supervillain. She just said that she was a scientist at Star Labs.
Well, I'm asserting supervillain because she did horrible things.
This is what's bad with helicopter parents. Stop being helicopter parents. You turn your kids into supervillains.
With polka dot powers. Like, no, forget the flying and the strength and all that. No, you fire, like, heat-sensitive polka dots.
I love the fact that he had to release the polka dots at least twice a day, or he'll explode.
They're all like, "Are you okay?" He's like, "I'm fine. I'll be right back."
What's so great about this character, though, is, again, this is another one of those James Gunn things that he does, is this is not his origin at all. He totally recreated the origin, which was brilliant. It's kind of what he did with Star-Lord, essentially, because Ego is not Star-Lord's father whatsoever in the comic books. And I like that they made that change. I mean, in this case, he had a belt, and that belt had technology that would allow him. I like that they made him a meta-human.
I love the fact that they can go and take these C-list and D-list characters that no one cares about, that DC doesn't care about either, and they're like, "Here, you can use these characters. If you want to change them, go for it. We don't care. We have no plans on using these characters at all. And if they kind of take off, we'll steal your ideas."
Yeah, there you go. Where's the Polka Dot Man movie? It's coming.
Kind of morphed in the comic books to become more of what the movie was about. So
I gotta say, can we just give a quick shout out to Sean Gunn playing the calendar man heckling Polka Dot Man? He's like, "Hey, nice polka dots. You want to play at my daughter's party, pussy?" I thought that was so, like, for me, I was just like, the first thought I had was, oh my God, isn't Robert Pattinson's Batman movie partly an adaptation of Long Halloween? Oh my God, bring Sean Gunn in.
Dude, you never know, man. It might happen. It might happen.
I would just love him just heckling Batman, just as the calendar man. What's up?
Now, Andy, would you agree that Milton was also a C or D list character that we really loved?
Oh, I loved Milton.
Poor Milton, man. Everybody forgot about him. He died. Like, he was the guy.
He's more an F list.
He got F'd.
He got F'd, right? Yeah, there you go.
I watched. I forgot I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Who's this guy? It's Milton. He's the driver. Oh, okay.
And again, what I loved about this movie so much as well is just how well they were able to whittle this huge cast down. Like, it was a huge friggin' cast, and they whittled it all.
Yeah, in the first 5 minutes, they took half the team out.
Yeah.
They whittled it down pretty quickly.
They went from whole to half. That's what they did. They went to whole to half. And then it got, oh God, it was just, I loved it. I thought it was such a great story. Now, Darth, what was a C-list, D-list character that you felt was like, yes?
Obviously, put my comment up.
Yep, let's do it. King Shark,
He was so charming. Everybody loved King Shark, and then he had his moment. And
every incarnation of King Shark has been awesome. You have the
Ron Funch is doing it in the Harley Quinn.
Yeah, Ron Funch's Harley Quinn Harley Quinn's King Shark is great. I liked the Flash's version of the Super Shark. Yeah. The original King Shark from Superboy, I thought was great. And then this one is just great also, and I kind of felt bad for him while he was getting eaten by all of his little friends.
Yeah.
And then when he lived, I was like, yay.
Yeah, it was great that he lived. I was worried that he was going to be dead, and then when he wasn't dead, I got a little excited.
And again, this is the greatness of this. It's like, you don't want these characters to die at all, even though you're going into a movie where you're like, they're getting significantly whittled off. And one of my favorite scenes to really give you that feeling that this movie, we're going to see a lot of bodies drop, was when The Office was betting at the beginning. They're all sitting there, and then Amanda Waller walks in on them, and they're like all embarrassed, and all of a sudden they have shame. And they're betting on people's lives. I was like, That's brilliant, right there. That's so damn funny.
I did like that because it really also helps set the stage that no one gives a fuck about any of these people, yet they're being sent on missions that are the most important ever. Like, you've got to get the damn starfish shit taken care of, because otherwise it's going to be really, really bad. Who do we send? A whole squad of people we don't give a fuck about. We sent a fucking mutant shark to go do this. And so, I mean...
And the worst part was they weren't even sent to just necessarily destroy it. They were just sent to destroy all evidence.
Yeah, right.
So, like, it's so brilliant. I love that. I love that distinction. Which, by the way, Viola Davis does not get enough credit for that role she plays.
She does a great job.
Even before they casted her, I was a big fan of her. I used to watch How to Get Away with Murder. And when I watch How to Get Away with Murder, I'm like, if they ever casted Viola Davis, if they ever did a Suicide Squad movie or Amanda Waller shows up, she has to play it because she could command a room and make everybody fear her. And I'm like, that's Amanda Waller. And what I also like about this movie is they made her less likable, which is beautiful.
She's supposed to be queen bitch.
Yes. Here's something to think about. She knew that Blackguard was selling them out. She knew, because that's what would set up the distraction for the whole army to be there.
Yeah, so true.
She knew they were going to die 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like how ruthless she is, that she just murders all of her associates in order to protect whatever secret she needs protected. So, I mean, right there, all the people doing the job, because you can't do it, you're just giving the orders, and then they execute flawlessly for you. And what do you do before you dip out? You kill them all. I mean, goddamn, that's ruthless as hell.
Yeah. No, it's her character is brilliant. And like I said, I like this. I want to see more of her, because what's so goddamn funny is, as Darth mentioned, she's queen bitch. But when she becomes like a grandmother, she's like the sweetest human being in the world. Which it's such a 180, and it's so hilarious because like Terry McGinnis, who is the future's Batman, meets her after hearing a bunch of stories from our Batman, and it's so funny. Like all the stories he knows of her, she's nothing like that because she softened up. She became a grandma, and she's happy, and it's hysterical. It's. I always thought that was kind of an interesting story. But let's keep moving forward. Let's jump into. I want to jump into this because you're wearing a Superman shirt, so we got to do it. So, what if? There's a lot of what ifs to what this movie could have came into. And at one point, Starro was not the original villain for this. They actually were going to make, much like how the Arkham Asylum cartoon movie with Suicide Squad, where Batman was kind of the villain for that one, they were going to do a Superman. So Superman was the antagonist, not necessarily a villain, but you know what I'm saying. But
I would have been down for that.
Well, yeah, I would have been down. What are your guys' thought on seeing a Justice League member kind of being the antagonist in a movie?
That would have been cool. I would have liked it. There was a video before I got on with you guys that I was watching. It was Suicide Squad versus the Justice League. I'm not sure what game it was from, but it was like cutscenes from. I want to say it was probably the Injustice fighting games.
No, it's actually, you were right. The first one. It's an actual specific Suicide Squad video game.
Oh, okay.
What is that on? Is it a mobile game?
No, it's going to be an actual, like, from Arkham's. The guys who did Arkham.
Oh, they're making it.
Yeah.
I thought it was already out. My bad.
No. They showed the trailer last year at the DC Fandom thing they did last year.
Oh, yeah.
I
forget what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, but you got the title right. It's literally just the Suicide Squad versus Justice League.
Huh. Well, I'm interested in that game.
Yeah. Oh, wait, here it is. Sorry. Yeah, there's the game. Thank you, Nigel. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Nigel.
I love the title, how presumptuous it is.
Right.
Justice.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, Andy, because I am now interested in that. That sounds cool as hell.
Yeah. But, yeah, so that is a what if. I mean, obviously it would have made sense because with Bloodsport's history with Superman and putting him in the ICU with the kryptonite bullet, that is quite interesting. Now, here's a very
thing is they were using Deadshot, not Bloodsport.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, because if you noticed, that's another great what if. Because Deadshot, I mean, if you look at Bloodsport and Deadshot, you could have taken either of them out and put the other one in. Because Deadshot has a daughter, and Bloodsport has a daughter. They're both sharpshooters. You know, they both. So the reason why they did that was they want Will Smith to come back. So at first, Idris Elba was to be Deadshot as a recast, but James Gunn moved against it because he's like, no, Will Smith was great in the first movie. Why do that?
He really was.
Yeah,
so
I loved it.
He just he kept the story of this line the same, fit Bloodsport in there so that they can bring him back anytime, which I think it would be interesting to have two characters that have
Dude, make it a bro comedy. Except make it rated R and violent as fuck with Bloodsport and Deadshot. Boom, there it is. Like Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, only Suicide Squad.
Yeah. But one thing that that'd be funny. Because Will Smith, the one thing Will Smith is very good at doing is playing off somebody. He's very super good at it. If you watch all those early 90s movies where he did a bunch of action comedies and stuff like that with Tommy Lee Jones, oh my God, he was hilarious. He was funny, and he was still badass. You know what I mean, which is great. But yeah, so that was one of the what ifs. Another what if that I think would have changed the movie itself is if Ratcatcher died and Polka Dot Man lived. So that's I found very interesting. What are your guys' thoughts on if Polka Dot Man would have survived?
I would have thought the same exact thing. The Polka Dot Man was cool, but he really didn't. His death didn't rattle me.
It rattled me just because I could relate to his character on certain levels, but I think it was important that Ratcatcher lived.
Your mom did experiments on you,
right? Yeah, that's why he has to live. What kind of fucked up childhood did you have, Jesse?
Yes, I got experimented on. You're absolutely right.
That explains everything.
That explains it. You nailed it on the head.
So, Darth, look at it this way, right? What the hell was her name? Rat Trap and Polka Dot Man? Ratcatcher, sorry. I mean, so have Ratcatcher die, Polka Dot Man lives, and instead of the rats eating the eyeball after it's stabbed, he just shoots the polka dots in it, and then it blows up, and everything is still the same. I think they really could have done it either way with either character. I don't think it really mattered which one survived or which one died.
But it did, because Idris Elba's character really kind of latched onto her and saw her as like a surrogate daughter. So that helps with the character development of Bloodsport.
All right. I mean, I'll give that to you because, that's logical. Okay, fine. I still want to Polka Dot Man. If you
completely changed it and made a son type of thing with Polka Dot Man, it would have made the movie so much better.
Yeah, it wouldn't. It would have. It probably would have had the same, if not a worse. So I get the whole taken under the wing thing. You know, I'm cool with that. That makes sense to me. I'm good with that.
Plus, it gives the Polka Dot Man his death was kind of inevitable. He fulfilled his destiny. He became a superhero.
He did,
and then died. So he got what his destiny was. His mom could be like, "Look, my son was a hero."
So what would have happened if Starro survived because all of the starfish went on the faces of the Suicide Squad members, which they really just blew off an exposition like, oh, block your face. Oh, okay, we're the only ones that did that and survived. Everybody else managed to fail and they're all dead. Do you
remember Futurama? The Hypnotoad?
Yes.
All hail the Hypnotoad. All hail Starro the Conqueror.
Oh, shit, Darth. I totally forgot about that episode. Great episode. So I would like to have seen Starro survive and not die and just conquer Earth. I think that would be a fantastic what if.
Who's to say that was actually Starro Prime, if you would? He was just a little starfish floating in space.
Right. Looking at the stars, minding his own business.
Might not have been Starro Prime. It could have just been one of his little guys just out there.
It's kind of like
hold on. So that then begs the question, because I get where you're going, Darth. You're saying, okay, he wasn't the Prime. He was just one of the little guys that comes out of the armpit. So then it's like every time that happens, are these all potential like world-conquering starfish? I mean, to me, that sounds like a disease that needs to be eradicated from the universe, because that's going to spread like wildfire. Got to get rid of that problem.
That's kind of Starro's character, essentially. I mean,
he's never ending. He's always regenerating and multiplying himself and throwing himself out there. You never know which one's the real one.
Like what starfish do.
Oh, there you go, bringing some science into this conversation.
But yeah, I think it's kind of like even because I was bummed that Thinker died, but then I had to tell myself there's like 3 different Thinkers.
Oh yeah, that Thinker was lame, but whatever.
Capaldi played a great Thinker.
He did, and that's what made the character. Andy,
He didn't play the original Thinker. They actually had. I think this was very smart because they knew he wanted to get killed off. He played there's 3 Thinkers in the comic book. There's one Thinker that doesn't have a name or an identity. He's just a Thinker. He's the 3rd one. This character is based on the 3rd one. They gave him a name and everything. But yeah, because I want to see, because I thought it was really cool. The only thing I was bummed out about is I didn't get to see Thinker kind of flex his mind as much.
Yeah, this wasn't his movie to flex.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to see him like predict shit, but I did appreciate the one line where the rat catcher 2 is like, how about I have a rat crawl up your ass? I don't think you're gonna like the answer again. Creepy as fuck, and I love it.
So Andy, what did you think about this version of Thinker? Because I really liked the Thinker that was in the Flash TV show.
I do.
I know I'm going to get ripped apart for saying that, but I actually liked that character.
I don't remember the Thinker in the Flash TV show.
Season 4.
He was a season-long villain.
Yeah,
which was like one of the worst seasons there was.
Disagree. Season 3 was way worse than season 4. Totally disagree.
Okay.
Sure.
I liked Peter Capaldi, so I mean,
that's it.
That's basically all I can say about him.
Oh no, I mean I think that comment was for Darth, because Darth
I like how when they showed the like past footage when they first had Starro and everything, noticed that the Thinker only had a few things in his head.
Yeah.
And then later on, you see
he's
him
got like a bunch of them. Yeah.
I
really like those little flashbacks and stuff, like how they kind of made him look a little old and whatnot. And I don't know. It added to the humor. I liked the presentation. I liked the humor. I liked the way they showed you certain events. And I like how things were broken up. I like how something would happen, and then we would cut back to 10 minutes ago and go through all of that, which led to then that event happening, and now we're caught back up to current. So I really like that aspect too, and I think showing Thinker at different stages while we were progressing through the plot, to your point, added some to the character and just showed kind of the humor on, hey, he got more plugs over the 30 years. So.
Well, let's jump over to our next topic, because I don't want John to feel bad that he watched some amazing movies. I mean, you watched all these amazing movies. I would hate you not to have an opinion.
Birds of Prey was not an amazing movie, but okay.
Birds of Prey was the best Harley. No, I can't say that. Birds of Prey was the best Cassandra Cain movie that they've done. All right.
I agree, Garth. I agree with you 100%. You nailed it.
I wonder, because here's the thing. I have to agree with that, because that is a true statement. It's not a true statement I want to agree with. No, so one of the things Darth, I think, nailed perfectly at the beginning of the show was how much like comic books and being in different times and time frames in a character's life. This was a different time frame in Harley's life. It didn't negate, nor did it say that Birds of Prey occurred. But for me, I'm like, yeah, it did occur. A lot of things have changed since Birds of Prey. We noticed that she no longer has the rotten tattoo right there. Anything Joker-related tattoo-wise are gone. She's kind of been emancipated since the original Birds of Prey movie. But let's talk about Harley Quinn's character from there to there. For me, I liked Birds of Prey. I thought it was a great movie to really let Harley be her own character. I'm going to let you guys talk about it because I know John looks like he's going to blow up right now.
Before John goes.
No. Darth, Andy, please talk. Everybody already knows my opinion.
I don't remember anything about this movie.
There you go. My point exactly.
I don't. I saw it. I think I saw it once, maybe twice. And there's really nothing that stands out. I can't even say how great of an actor Ewan McGregor was playing the Black Man.
Come on, I loved it.
He was the best character, and he died.
No. Cassandra Cain was the best character in that movie.
Okay, I'll give you that. Ewan number 2.
I like the Huntress better, or I'm sorry, Crossbow Killer.
But to be honest, I don't remember anything.
You liked the Huntress?
That whole aspect where they're calling her the Crossbow Killer, but she's like, I'm the Huntress. And that whole taxi driver scene where she's looking in the mirror saying that she's the Huntress. I mean, come on, that was all great shit.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story here about a very similar character, a fictional character that was written by the name of Oren Ishii. And, she had a pretty much identical story to Huntress. The difference is Oren came out to be not only like the world's top assassin, but then took over the Yakuza. Meanwhile, Huntress is making jokes about her name and acting like a 15-year-old.
You mean
Cassandra Cain? Absurd to me.
Cassandra Cain, who became Batgirl, and then I believe decided to run the League of Assassins.
Cassandra
Cain.
Again, I agreed with you. Okay. But we're talking about something different here, Darth. We're talking about how a person who watched their parents murdered in front of them, Batman, and then was trained by some type of group of badass people, Batman, and turns out to act like a 15-year-old and not take anything seriously. And on top of that, had some of the worst choreography in the fight scenes that I have ever seen.
Yes, that is the character's fault.
So bad that you can script out every movement that's being made because then they play it back in slow motion because every fight scene is in slow motion in this movie, and it's so annoying. But I couldn't stand the Huntress. I'm sorry, Andy. That was probably my least favorite character. It really was. I mean, I hated the movie, but it was my least favorment character. What's Jesse doing?
I do not
left the conversation.
I don't want to be in your presence when you badmouth such a great movie.
Birds of Prey? You're gonna defend Birds of Prey?
That's the hell you're gonna die on.
Right. I told you. Bring some flowers and your condolences. Because I'm dying on this hill, baby.
But Jesse, people die on different hills, man. Okay?
Hey, John, you die on the hill for Superman 3.
I absolutely will.
Yeah, and he's going to die on the hill for Birds of Prey. Okay. No one else in the world agrees with him, but that's the hill that he wants to die on.
Hey, I will say there's a whole club of people who will defend Superman 3. We are out there. We exist.
And I'm sure there's people out there that will.
Wait, what did you say?
I was wondering who else, what other person.
If he's watching, my buddy Don Murray, huge fan.
You don't know him. He goes to a different school.
Okay. Is this your girlfriend from Canada?
Oh, shit. That was the best, Darth. You don't know him. He goes to a different school. That was so great. Yeah, that's Don Murray in a nutshell. Great guy. Been trying to get him on the show. Huge mega fan of all things like this, but hasn't worked out schedule-wise yet. But when we do work it out, we're going to have him on the show. He loves these, a big supporter, a good friend of mine. So myself and Don, there, you two people who I assume you respect and enjoy company with, Darth. Superman 3. So I'm just saying we're out there.
All right, yeah. I'm just gonna say I wish we'll do a Birds of Prey show. We'll watch me and John.
We should. And look, here's my thing. As Quentin Tarantino always said, there's one thing about every movie that you can find that you like. I love the soundtrack to Birds of Prey. I thought it was really well done. I enjoyed the presentation, the way that it was shot, the way the movie was shown to me. I enjoyed that, and that's about where it stops. Andy, what overall? Are you in the camp with Jesse? Are you on the fence? Are you with Darth and I? Where do you lie?
I liked Birds of Prey.
Oh,
so,
man.
Yeah, you did.
People on one episode.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, he's like, yeah, you did.
John,
all right, Andy.
Don't lump me in with you. I don't remember the movie.
Well, I just watched it 2 days ago, so it's fresh in my mind.
It's not that I didn't like it.
I've seen it multiple times, but it's not fresh.
How many times? I mean, I watched it twice, and a couple days ago was rough.
I want to say I've had it playing in the background at least 5 times.
Wow, what is it? And that's fine. Movie
it was on HBO for like 2 months straight. So,
what is it though about Birds of Prey that you really liked?
Ewan McGregor.
Okay, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I don't necessarily
when he has the family upside down and he's cutting off the people's faces, and then he's about to let the girl go, and then he's like, "Oh, is that a snot bubble? Ew."
I did like his character, and I don't know how accurate that is to Black Mask, but I very much enjoyed the character. I thought it was great when he just got grenaded in like 7 pieces at the end. That was cool.
They made him a bit more flamboyant, but I liked it. I didn't care. I
did like it.
I thought it was an interesting take, and it was an interesting take to see Zask as a character. The last time we saw Zask was in Batman Begins, I believe it was. So
was it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a lot of time.
They just brought him back in something recently I saw. He had it may have been the CW shows. Supergirl, I want to say.
I believe that.
They brought his Azaz back in for that, and he had just killed somebody, and he was looking around, and he had, his face was the only part that wasn't covered in the marks yet. And he was like, just killed 2 people. And he's like, 1. Ooh, looking all over. He's like, oh, looks like I'm almost ready for retirement.
I like that. That's badass, man.
Ooh,
let me just start notching my face. That's pretty cool. I like that. You said that was in, I stopped watching Supergirl midway through last season. But I'll finish it still. I know this is the last season. And look, say what you want about Supergirl. I get it, guys. But I watched it from the beginning. I'm gonna finish it. So
same here. I'm invested. I can't stop watching it.
I agree. There's complaints.
Like five episodes left. I'll watch it.
You know, it is what it is. But I'm gonna finish it up. So,
well,
all right, Jesse, we're running low on time. What are we gonna do to wrap up today? This has actually been a really fun conversation.
Yes, I wanted to run through the comments section just to hit on everything we missed because.
There's a lot of comments in here today.
Yeah, so definitely. Desiree wants to say Darth has the best white void. I couldn't agree more. You are a floating head of knowledge. Nigel brought up same characters, different stories. Reminds me of Legend of Zelda. Great way to.
Great comparison, Nigel.
Let's see. Let's throw some more up here. Mike Norris trying. He was talking about. Oh, he's talking about Polka Dot Man here. Yes. Yeah. His character, it's good way to put it.
Everything, hasn't he?
He's been in he's been in a few DC movies, and he's been in a few Marvel movies. I think he has more DC credits than Marvel credits.
I mean, he was great in Doctor Who, so.
Yeah. Let's see. Real quick. So then, first couple minutes were kick-ass. Yep, that the song that they play, Everybody Dies, is such a great song for that. That was just a great way to set up that whole thing. But anyways, that's all the time we got today. I want to say thank you to everybody that tuned in today. I want to thank our 2 guests, Andy and Darth. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And let's head over to the comments section. I want to thank Nigel, Desiree, Ryan, Daniel, Mike, for joining us and lighting up the comment section. We appreciate it as always.
I was there too.
Oh my God, sorry. Yes, Darth.
I was there too.
You're right here. I put it up so you know. All right.
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to Phil Moore, host of Nick Arcade back in the 90s. He was checking out our show today. What's up, Phil? Welcome back from Hawaii.
All right. And then I want to thank Vance, the producer, who always produces the goods for us. And make sure to check us out on Facebook, everywhere. We're going to keep this show rolling. But until then, I'm Jesse.
And I'm John.
And you've been sitting at the grown-ups table. Thank you and have an awesome night, everybody. Take care.
Night, everybody.
Night.
And